It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in cinema, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey there, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
Yes, and usually we would have the merman present, but he is on hiatus until further notice. Do you know where he is, Jim?
Murray lost all of his jobs, as we already know.
Right.
And then he got another job back, and then another job.
Right.
And now he works 23 and a half hours a day.
Okay.
Until, I think, the end of time. So we may never see him ever again.
Fair enough. It's a shame.
I know. And he still makes less than a minimum wage.
Oh,
as part of the film industry, Murray is almost like he's on strike. But,
yes.
you know.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
That's right.
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Well, thanks to all who've been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform. Or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining a membership at buymeacoffee.com/FilmRageYYC. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible film. And we will watch it if it played anywhere in a cinema in the world or even the universe.
Wow. So
Yeah.
Played on, like, Saturn?
Or Uranus.
Uranus?
If you played on Uranus, we would watch it.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that part.
As long as you could fit enough people in the seats on Uranus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was going to say something, but now I'm going to not say
There
it.
you go. Well, and on that note, let's get to raging. But first, here's a word from our sponsor.
Hey, Bryce, what are you doing tonight?
I'm going to my favorite cinema, Canyon Meadows Cinema, to see the best second-run movies at the best price.
What? How inexpensive are they?
Regular price is $5, $5.
Regular price is $5. Makes me hope they also serve pizza.
They do, plus a lot of other great food choices. Plus, I'm planning my office Christmas party there. They can host a plethora of options for any get-together. Gaming, movie, drag show.
Drag show? Now I know where I'm planning my next party.
Hey, maybe you think there's a Liam Neeson or a superhero movie planned?
I hope not. But maybe there'll be a great independent documentary.
Sure. Call CMC at 403-670-5444 to book a special event or go online at canyonmeadowscinema.ca.
Oh man, the groove. You know, people should be listening to us in headphones right now. If you're listening to this on like a large home theater system with surround sound, that might also be cool too. But definitely with the funkiness of this music is just outstanding.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
So we went to cinema and we were only going to see 2 movies. And then you said,
let's see a third.
exactly. And I was just like, count me in. If I can escape my family for another 2 hours, I'm in, baby.
And I'm glad we did, because
Oh yes,
we'll get to that.
Yes, we're gonna get to that in a while. But it's like that. What's that old expression? It only goes downhill from here.
Yes. All right, sir. First movie we're going to talk about is a movie by the name of North of Normal. North of Normal is about Sia Sunrise Person and her less than conventional upbringing. The film bounces between Sia as a small child and Sia as a teenager through a series of flashbacks. She has a pot-smoking mom and a free-spirited, anti-establishment grandfather. She spent much of her early years growing up in the wilderness, being taught life lessons from her grandfather, Papa Dick. Her mother was in and out of her life. Then we fast forward 10 years and teenage Sia is back with her mother in the big city and more life lessons are taught. The biggest one being that the only person you can really count on is yourself. Sia's mom is played by Sarah Gordon. She portrays a woman that had a baby too young and never really learned how to raise a child. Amanda Fix as Sia is compelling and gives a thoughtful performance. of a young woman figuring out some hard life lessons. Robert Carlyle as Papa Dick gives one of his better performances. I really liked Robert Carlyle in this. This is a solid film all the way around, and another Canadian film that leads me to believe that our local talents can rival anyone in the world. We have had a series of Canadian films this year that have been excellent, and they are joined by this one, which was very good. I enjoyed the performances, the story, the classic rock soundtrack, and it was beautifully shot. I like North of Normal a lot. It was just south of Mondo, which makes it a very northerly meh.
Wow, what a surprise. Yeah. A Canadian period piece biopic. These words usually incite thoughts of supreme rage on so many levels for me. In the case of North of Normal, the direction and script were both, in my opinion, a bit choppy, and the story moved forward sometimes conveniently and without natural, I'm going to call it, fluidity. Like, chop! This happens. And then chop! That happens. Kind of like a karate training session. Chop!
That's fair.
So, at times, the style of the shooting did feel like this was a first-time project for the writing and directing, but this is not the case. The story takes place over a period of about 15 years, where the grandpa, aka Papa Dick, and as Bryce has already mentioned, yes, that's his name, Papa Dick. Papa Dick. This, everybody knows that. Played by the Robert Carlyle.
Yes.
And we'll talk more about him in a few minutes. Decides to take his family off the grid because his daughter, played by Sarah Gordon, becomes pregnant with our lead character, Sia Sunrise, played by Amanda Fix. Teenage version, and is played by... Amanda Fix is the teenage version.
Yes.
And the 7-year-old version is River Price Mayenpaw. 7-year-old. I'm thinking good. She was 7-year-old. I think that's kind of the era that they were putting her in. Yeah. They live off the grid in the Yukon in what appears to be, and I'm putting this in strong air quotes, free love type commune, where sex is done out in the open and pretty much everyone and anyone is having sex except for the 7-year-old in this particular location. One of the inside jokes the mom and daughter have is they make light of this by calling each other sex pot. It sounds super creepy, yes, but it really was cute. And I'm going to say that it was almost appropriate the way it was delivered. It's still super creepy, especially when you see the film unfold. But at that moment, it was actually done very cute. The freeness of the society that Sia grows up in does go to shape who she is as a person. And as her mom continues to focus on herself and less on her daughter, these themes that seem innocent in her youth become abusive and separating as the story progresses. As the film does progress, I found I did have some issues with the pacing and the way each scene transitions to the next. And this is where the convenience, I'm putting that in strong quotes too, of the story comes about. Sometimes, and then it seems like it's natural in other times. So it was a little, I don't know if pacing is the right word. It was, and I think choppy is still the best choice of words I can see it, because it felt almost like biographical in space, but then it would jump back in time. So
if you thought this one was choppy, man, you're gonna have a field day with the next movie we're talking about.
Oh yeah, no. So for those, I that kind of put me off my game a little bit. But at the same time, the characters in this were so well developed and really engaging. You really get to feel what each person is going through, and did kind of make me want to have a life that at times was off the grid. But with less open sex in front of 7-year-olds. That's that would be my way. But then again, I'm a little uncomfortable having sex in front of 7-year-olds. But I guess they didn't, so that's the way that is. I really wanted to hate it for the reasons I mentioned earlier, and also because it is a period piece biopic.
Yes.
But I couldn't help really liking these characters so much.
Yeah.
And the acting was all super stellar.
So good.
That these characters were so rich and deserving of a story, and the ending was perfect for the story that was portrayed.
Absolutely.
Which made me really like it. It's just a little bit south of Mondo, but it's very far north in Amman.
There you go.
Yeah, especially the Canadiana period piece aspect of this. I came out of this movie really enjoying it, but it was just those things that were sitting on me.
It wasn't perfect, and you know, if you can't just hand out like you like to say, you can't be handing out Mondos like candy. I wanted to give this a Mondo, but there were some patches there where it's like you just can't. However, so well worth watching. Such good performances. The story on a whole is very good, but you're right. It does have some rather convenient things happen. It's a little bit choppy, but it's still very, very good and worth seeking out. If you got a chance to watch it and you want to see some real good actors apply their craft the way that it should be done, it's very, very, very worthwhile. Yeah,
I would, especially as far as character development is concerned. There's not very many films that have this well developed.
Right down to like the boyfriends and whatnot. Except for maybe the evil boyfriend, we don't really get a whole lot of development.
We don't, but I mean, which is kind of good actually.
Yeah, we don't need to.
There were scenes about that because there is sexual abuse in this film, and so be prepared if you go to see this, because we didn't know anything about it when we went to see it, and so that, not that it shocked me, but also I think how they portrayed that in the film was very classy and very respectful of the cast in general. So I thought that was really good. But this is, as far as her first, this is her second feature. Carly Stone is the director. And so I'm kind of anxious to see what she does next, or what they do next. I'm not sure how she identifies, but and it's written actually by Sia Sunrise.
Based on her memoirs. So So
highly recommend you guys check this out. I would not miss it. And Robert Carlyle, I mean, I agree with you. That's one of his best performances.
I've always thought he's a good actor, and it always pleases me to see him in something. Yeah. But he was next level in this. He was just so good in this.
Yeah, and the little young version was also like, so good. For a 7-year-old, she was on stage with some powerful actors. So kudos Canada. Way to go. All right, now we got to see a movie called The Beanie Bubble, which, in addition to coming to select cinemas in our local city, Calgary, it also was simultaneous release on Apple Plus. So depends on where you saw it. Of course, we prefer to see things in cinemas, so that's always the best place to see it. Oh, why are we getting... Oh, yeah. We're getting double whammied there because, you could have streamed it or you could have seen it in cinema. So, there we go. All right. I'm loving it. You know what? I think Mr. DJ, put that record on. Nice. Apparently he's not going to get hired to play the clubs, although I might drop some E when I listen to his sweet voice later. Beanie Baby biopic. Say that 27 times fast.
No.
About the rise and fall of the Beanie Baby company, TY Inc. or Ty Inc. This story really tells the tale of this cultural phenomenon, but mostly about Ty himself, but from the perspective of 3 women who were very influenced in the life of the company, and major influence on Ty Warner himself, or that's at least what's portrayed. The story idea I was finding interesting, as I myself was caught up in the craze of the beanies as my kids were very young when the beanies were at their heights. memories of waiting in McDonald's lineups to get mini beanies like the story shows.
Uh-huh.
And still to this day have some of this collection in memory boxes in my attic, which I'm sure have limited value, but are cute reminder of the first collection that fueled my daughter's passion for being a hoarder.
All right.
And if you're listening,
so the Beanie Babies are to blame.
If you're listening, Amy, it's the Beanie Babies that caused you to be a hoarder.
There you go.
Yeah. I like seeing how each of the three ladies makes out fantastically from their experience with the TV company. Sorry, not the TV company, the TY company. But I found it a bit of a bait and switch style of directing that normally I would say is a Netflix signature mark. Apparently, Apple is now catching on to this style of biopic. What I mean by this is that they really try to make Ty out to be a really great guy until he's not. And when he's not, it seems to come around all of a sudden, which would make no sense based on the story that they spin. The casting in this was all pretty good with Zach Galifianakis.
I like the cast.
Yeah, Elizabeth Banks. Every time I see her these days, I'm happy that she's there. Sarah Snook and Geraldine Viswanathan. I want to say I liked her too.
Viswanathan, yeah.
Yeah, I liked her too. The story itself, I did enjoy to learn the progress of the company, but I felt that a lot of the story, mainly because it's a biopic, which are notorious for having to fill space, had gaps and jumps sometimes, but I feel it had a bit of an identity crisis. It was kind of showing, as it started, that it was perhaps a family-friendly biopic, and then they start to escalate the story and start throwing in all this, and I'm going to use Bryce quotes here, blue language. This kind of flippity-floppity style I did not like. I did not like it with a beanie. I did not like it on my weenie. I don't know. I can't rhyme with beanie for the life of me. Yeah, so I did not like this flippity floppity stuff that we were getting. This is not as cute as a fluffy version of a ghost, I'm going to say. Acting, as I said, was pretty good. Music, which was very period appropriate, was fantastic with the likes of The Cure, OK Go, In Excess, Queen, The Cranberries, Matthew Sweet, Lenny Kravitz, Supergrass, Earth, Wind and Fire, and the Flaming Lips. And the Beanies are so cute. But the film is a biopic, and it's so hard to just get those above a rage. And I almost handed out a non-rage biopic this week. Actually, I did hand out a non-rage biopic this week. So that slate is full. Although the music and the acting and the Beanies were good, that does not make a good movie. I'm sorry, Apple. You and Netflix need to get it together. And just because you like the idea of bait and switch, how about you just tell the story? It's another biopic rage. Not a surprise. Sorry, it's period piece. Biopic rage.
Well, sir.
Yeah.
That's something.
That's Italian.
Yeah. The Beanie Bubble is a mess of a movie. The actors are all doing their best, and Zach Galifianakis is quite good in the role of Ty Warner, the narcissistic creator of the worldwide Beanie Baby craze. Elizabeth Banks, Sarah Snook, and Geraldine Viswanathan are excellent as well. The acting is not the problem here.
No.
The problem is the pacing, the herky-jerky time jumps, the unfocused script, and the over-bloated runtime. I believe there is a good movie that could have been made with this cast and story, but not with this script that they ended up with, and definitely not with directors Kristen Gore and Damian Kulash trying to summon their inner Chris Nolan, but failing miserably as they jump back and forth in time to mind-numbing results. The whole project is disjointed and hard to watch. It is a complete failure, which is too bad because within this turd of a film are some talented actors doing the best they can with the material they were given. The Beanie Babies are understuffed, which is strange, as the Beanie Bubble is overstuffed with 1 hour and 50 minutes of frustration. This was a mess. This was a rage.
What? I'm so surprised.
Yeah, this was awful. I freaking hated this movie.
It was not good. You know,
What were they doing with, like, if you're going to do this jumping back and forth between time, like they were doing they were trying to make an Beanie Babies Oppenheimer version.
I don't know
what
it was Inception for sure.
Yeah, it's like, what is going on? It didn't do anything to the story. It just made things stupid and confusing.
You know, and then they had that.
And it's a simple story. You don't have to make it.
No, this is a biopic. You don't need that in a biopic. Although, interestingly enough, the North of Normal did do that as well, but they did it much better.
They did it effectively, and they didn't do it like ridiculous, like it's much, and then let's go back and now let's see it through another person's point of view. And it's like, oh my god, just stop.
Yeah,
stop.
But okay, so everything you say, I 100% agree with. So that's not where it's because we both, we hated this movie, but. I would 100% agree with you that, in particular, Zach Galifianakis, this was beyond what I was expecting from him.
He was so good in it.
Yeah.
He really was.
Yeah, this is almost Oscar.
He nailed it.
This is almost Oscar-worthy performance
in just a turn of a movie.
Yeah.
It's it is too bad because the actors were so, like, they really were good in this.
Acting the shit out of this movie.
They were doing everything they could to make me almost think that this wasn't as awful as it was.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know what? You're all doing really good.
Those beanies are so freaking cute.
Yeah, the beanies did nothing for me.
You didn't have to stand in line at McDonald's to get Ghostio or whatever the hell they were called.
That's true. I did.
You did not.
And I did not own a Beanie Baby.
We still own Beanie Babies. They're sitting in my living room right now, waiting for someone to come and take them. I won't say who, Amy. But this was hard. You know, the funniest thing about this movie, I have to say.
Yes.
Again, it was another experience of watching this with my wife because she started watching it. Yeah. And she started what's the word I want to use? It's beyond rage. But it was like, this movie is so awful. And then she left to go do the laundry. And then she came back and she watched the rest of it and she says, is this still on? This is still awful. And then she fell asleep.
She read my mind.
Yeah, exactly. And I think she was hoping to see, in the movie, did we have any of these collectibles that maybe still be worth money? And then it comes to the end and it's like, wah. They went, it's all terrible and it's worth nothing now. So,
So there you have it.
Don't see this movie.
It's a rage on that level too.
Yeah, it's like so many levels of rage.
All right.
Because I have a Beanie Baby that's only worth the same money as I bought it for.
If that.
Yeah.
Now it's secondhand. Buy my used Beanie Baby.
Yep. All right, so the other one we got to see, as I'm gonna say, is the biggest release from last week. I'm guessing.
I would say it is.
Sure, let's go with that.
Yeah. So we saw. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm actually introing this.
That's
It's not much of an intro.
No, it's not.
It's getting the intro it deserves. The Haunted Mansion, and we saw there, Jim. The Haunted.
Oh, yes,
we did. The Haunted Mansion is based on the Disney ride of the same name. It has an extremely talented cast that includes the like of Lakeith Stanfield, Owen Wilson, Tiffany Haddish, which now I actually put in the class of talent, which at one
I know
point
you do. You're being
her.
Very generous, but that's okay.
I like her. Danny DeVito and the always lovely Rosario Dawson. The chemistry between the actors is undeniable, especially the scene with Stanfield as Ben and Wilson as Father Kent. With any of the scenes, I should say, with those two. There is one scene that is kind of brilliant, which pretty much had already been shown in the trailers as they describe one of the ghosts to a police sketch artist. I still think that scene is funny.
That is really good.
Yeah. And there is another scene involving Winona Ryder as a tour guide that is a couple of minutes of amusement, but overall this is just a bland nothing of a movie. 2 hours of boredom interrupted by the occasional minor laughter as Owen Wilson can't help but be entertaining. He's just what he is. This was a waste of a talented cast. This was a waste of my time. The Haunted Mansion was generally just a waste. And it was also a rage. I don't even want to talk about this movie. It was just
Oh, we're going to
bland garbage.
We're
going to
talk about this.
It was so much nothing. How can there be an hour and 50 minutes of nothing?
I want to talk about how bad this was for an hour and 50 minutes.
Well,
if they're going to make me watch an hour and 50 minutes of this.
We're going to talk about it.
The podcast is going 3 hours today, people.
All right. What did you think, Jim?
So of all the movies about theme park rides, this is by far the worst.
Ugh.
In all my years of imagining genres, I could not imagine that this would become one. It's bad enough we have movies based on toys and movies based on games, be them board games or video games. When you start making movies about theme park rides, this takes the motherfucking cake of motherfucking stupid. Oh, you don't believe me? This is a genre? Well, let me tell you how much it is. These are just a few, and these are just a few of the Disney theme park ride movies. We have Pirates of the Caribbean 1 through 5. We have Tower of Terror. We have Mission to Mars. We have The Country Bears. We have Tomorrowland. We have Jungle Cruise. And oh yes, this film. However, this is now taking a whole new level because now we get a remake, or should we call it a reimagining of the original theme park ride movie, which was called The Haunted Mansion. So we have Haunted Mansion, and now we have The Haunted Mansion. Just for those of you who were confused, this one is without a the, just so you know.
Excellent.
It was exactly what I thought it was going to be, an introduction to children's horror stories to get children comfortable. So when they go to a Disney theme park, they can go on the Haunted Mansion ride and not be that afraid. Which of all the rides is only outdone in a terrible fashion by It's a Small World. It hired some pretty big names, all of which are great actors in their own right, with most outstanding performances by Daniel Levy and Winona Ryder, yet they were not in it long enough to really shine. Plus, everyone else was pretty competent in their roles. I'm going to say competent.
I enjoyed them.
I enjoyed that they were there.
I enjoyed 2 scenes. So.
Yeah. Although they were all playing the best, and I'm going to call this stereotypical versions of themselves.
Yeah,
we had Danny, we had Tiff, we had Owen, we had Rosario, we had Lakeith, all playing versions of their usual portrayals, characterizing themselves as best as they could.
Yeah, that's accurate.
If you like any of these actors in any of the movies that they have made, imagine what you would consider to be the most stereotypical version of that person that they play in a movie, and this was every single one of these character actors.
That is very fair.
Yeah, and that's being nice. I'm going to say nice. It's not often we get the likes of this cast in one film. And completely wasted talent of Danny DeVito, Owen Wilson, and Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
With a convoluted script and a Lord of the Rings style ending that went on forever, the only thing in this story that surprised me is that they didn't release this closer to Halloween. So it could become the 3rd installment of the Hocus Pocus series. I mean, after all, it is as bad or worse than the last Hocus Pocus movie and made about as much sense. But maybe, I'm just thinking maybe, and I'm not convinced here, 9-year-olds will now not be scared to go to Disney and go on the Haunted Mansion ride, or is it just Haunted Mansion ride? I don't know. Which will allow them to still take in profits at Disney as they continue to fuck over their writers and non-A-list actors. So, what was the reason for this steaming pile of shit? Or should I say shit stain on the cinematic world? It was to make more money for Disney as they continue to put out garbage sold as an original story to tweens to convince their parents to go to Disneyland, Disney World, or wherever other Disney franchise chemical diluted bullshit shithole of a place. This film was awful. I hate the Disney Corporation. I hate the fact that we have striking actors and writers right now, and these people at Disney are the pain of my existence. The fact that they can make an entire genre of films based on their fucking theme park rides and then expect us to go see it so that they can sell it. It's the most bubble created, speaking of bubbles, where they now have everybody contained into this world of we got to see the movie, then we got to do the theme park ride, then we got to go buy the franchise toys, and then we got to go back to the movies to watch the next theme park. Like, if Disney puts out a movie, and I'm putting it on the block right now, I know I gave out a Mondo to one of the Marvel movies. I'm giving them a little bit of a break. But if Disney puts out a movie that is original, and I mean original, in the last 20 years, I would love to know what that movie is, because every single thing they have has been regurgitated shit. And then they keep regurgitating more shit by putting out, oh, you know what? We made all this money off an animated feature. Let's make a live action version. And then guess what they do?
Well, that's what
they put another
now.
Character out, sell more toys, and then they fucking... From there, they're going to make another theme park ride, which then they'll make another theme park movie. It's just a cycle of awful. Can we please stop going to see Disney movies and start to go see other animators and other people that I'm such in a flap about this. No, I don't. You know what? I would rather watch the entire Paul Rubens movie collection again before I watch another Disney film. I'm sorry. Like, now, I think maybe they owned that franchise too after a while, because they did own Tim Burton.
They own everything.
So I'm just sick. They don't own A24. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, they don't own me.
Yeah, or us. Yeah, I know.
Although I am for sale.
Yeah, well, totally, I'm for sale. But you know, it's funny. Other podcasters will always make a predicated, oh, please Disney, don't sue me. I'm like, oh, please, first of all, would they listen to our podcast? No. But second of all, it's my right to judge you when you are trying to cross-sell every single thing that you do. It's disgusting.
All right. I'm not going to argue with any of that. Rage! Yeah.
I'm making the poop on that film. Poopity poopity. And if you're going to try and sell me another fucking Disney something, I'm going to rage on it anyway. I don't care how good the movie is.
Did he give you anything?
No, but you know what? What we can do is say Murray did not want to see Haunted Mansion because he thought it would be terrible and that it was a 9-year-old children's movie, which it was.
He was correct.
So we should
give Murray his due.
Give Murray his due on his Merman Minute. And if Murray had ruled the world, we would not have had to see that piece of crap.
There we go.
Thanks, Mur.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
Okay, my rage is real simple. Apple, you pissed me off this week because you tried to be Netflix. And Disney, you pissed me off because you're fucking Disney. And I'm so mad that these studios are still fucking with our writers and our actors. It's so infuriating me that I only want to see A24 films or independent Canadian films or independent international films now. That's my goal. So who knows what we're going to watch next week, because there's a press going on social media that is, we should just not support these big films that are coming out. But I mean, I don't know if that's even the right decision, because there's still actors in that are getting paid. If we don't go see them, I guess what I'm saying is, if depending on what we have to see this week, if one or two of them are big studios that are fucking over the actors and writers, we'll choose to go see something else. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just so angry about it. So unethical. That's my rage.
All right. Yeah. I didn't really have anything prepared for my rage this week. My rage, I think, is probably that after watching, in the upcoming segment here, we're going to talk about Freddy Got Fingered.
Yeah.
And after watching that, it didn't make me rage. Well,
don't spoil it.
We're not going to spoil it, but it made me think about how everything doesn't take any chances anymore, and there's so much political correctness, and everything is sanitized that we're getting these days, including the movies that, especially the Haunted Mansion. And I know Beanie Babies kind of went to to some language there, but it even felt kind of sanitized to me.
Yeah, they didn't really show how bad Ty was.
Yeah.
Like, the guy was obviously a super dick.
I miss a time where a movie like Freddy Got Fingered, whether you like it or not, could be released and it wouldn't get absolutely obliterated by the do-gooders of this world that want to
Like
censor everything.
Yeah.
And then that goes into the fact that there's so many people that they'll make a mistake, and then all of a sudden that's it, they're done forever, and they're canceled because we're in this cancel culture and nobody can redeem themselves anymore. And that's where I'm at. That's my rage.
I tend to agree that
they're connected, because someone says one thing and someone takes it the wrong way, and then all of a sudden we can't watch their movies anymore. We can't like them anymore.
Yeah, and we're obviously not politically correct.
No.
We do believe in fundamental things that people are all equals, and in your case, all living creatures are equals. Which for the most part, I believe, other than the animals I eat. But and that everybody is allowed to be who they want to be. Period. And marry who they want to be, and just allow themselves to exist. And the fact that people take offense about specific things that are maybe put in joke. Sometimes the joke is told to point out a certain situation, and
that's the whole thing. The joke, whatever the joke may be, you can tell if it's coming from a malicious place or not a malicious place.
Yeah.
That's usually pretty clear.
Yeah.
And people will take certain things maliciously, even though they absolutely were not. And I hate that that's what our society's become.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
I agree.
Let's have a sense of humor.
And then let's cast everybody in movies, not just white cis men. How about that?
All right. Fair enough.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
All right, well, we had one film that we got to see on the lists last week. And for those of you who do not know what the lists are, go to our website, filmrageyyc.com, and go to our page called The Lists. There is 4 of them. There is the repulsive, the mesmerizing, the doubted, and the undoubted. And we've been trying to work on the mesmerizing. Listen, you know what? We're taking it down. It's moving down the list, buddy. It's getting smaller and smaller. And one of these days, one of us will have enough time to go back and find out everybody that was ever nominated on our list and create a new page that was, these people were mesmerizing once upon a time, and then who took them out. So that is a project
that is a major project.
That's right. And I think what we'll do is Bryce and I will split it up, because we have now, what is this, 200 208 after today. So I'll take 104 and Bryce will take 104.
Yeah, we didn't do the list till about 5 or 6 in though.
Yeah, so we only got about 100 each.
Yeah, it's
to
only
go
100 each.
Exactly. Yeah,
Nothing.
I'm not saying we're going to get it done for next week, but I'm saying...
Or next year.
Or next year, for that matter. But it's coming.
But next decade's definitely possible.
That's right. I'm not saying when. So we have Ellen Burstyn and Will Patton, which I was kind of surprised that they kind of were in the same movie together. But I'm very happy that they were. We got to see the movie The Spitfire Grill.
Yeah.
So, first off, did you like this movie?
I really like this movie. This is just like, this harkens back to a different time. This almost felt like a movie that was made in like the 50s or 60s. Like it almost had a To Kill a Mockingbird feel.
It did.
Yeah.
Totally. Like it might have been even like a classic novel that it was inspired
it's
from.
just and I really dug it, and I really dug all the actors in it too. Everybody was so good in it. I really enjoyed this. And I'd never seen it before, and I have no idea why. I don't know how this got past me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I did see this.
Yeah, I didn't.
If I did, I tell you, I liked it a lot more this time than if I did see it before. Because for me, this was a mondo. I loved it.
It was really, really good. I was just like, and I was freaking choked up at the end, and I was like, wow.
Because
this
it was
movie
surprising.
actually really affected me.
And you know what? It was supposed to do that. So what a surprise!
Yes, I watched it like 7 a.m. on Sunday. So
so now there's going to be the tough part.
Yes.
So, for me, it was Ellen Burstyn.
Yeah, I was.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's Ellen Burstyn for me too. And I tell you, with Will Patton's speech in the church at the end,
he pulled out all the stops.
He almost got me. I was like, but at the end of the day, it's Ellen Burstyn.
She was consistently.
Will Patton had one super powerful scene.
Yeah. And she had.
But when
17.
they were sharing the screen, I mean, there was no.
He was like a bug on the screen, and she was crushing him underfoot.
And he's so good. And he was so good. And he was so good in this too. Absolutely. But
he was Will Patton in this for sure.
But Ellen Burstyn's Ellen Burstyn, and that's that's just the way it goes.
The thing about her is that we know the front end of her career, and I still keep saying I can't believe this movie was like not that far off from The Exorcist and the movie we saw her in the other week where she was like a total yummy mommy, and in this one she plays like a grandma character. I know. I'm like, what can't she do?
She's so good.
She's just and I know I keep saying this, but she's in the new Exorcist coming out, so I could not be more happy. Like, I've never been more excited to see a sequel, because that's what it is. It's a sequel to the first one.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to that too.
Ellen Burstyn, you're going to be tough nut to crack here.
Yes.
So
even though Murray has something against her, he wants to get rid of her.
I don't know. He wants.
I don't know what's wrong with.
He still doesn't understand how Viola Davis is one of the best actors that's ever walked the planet.
Murray.
Oh, Murray. Yeah, maybe he hasn't seen. Well, you know what? He's never seen The Exorcist.
What?
No. He's never seen it.
And pourquoi?
He feels he's seen enough of it because he's seen so many clips of it. But I'm like, no, dude, you have not seen it.
No.
Yeah,
The Exorcist is not the sum of its clips.
No, it's definitely not. But then I think maybe he's a little afraid to, because he did grow up in a church world, so maybe he's afraid of the possession.
There's that.
He doesn't want to admit it, so we'll just admit it for him.
There you go.
It's okay, Murray. I'll protect you.
What are we doing are we doing anything else with the list this week? Or
we will, but you know what? We won't make our listeners listen to us fumble through Murray's notes to find it. But we will be picking somebody, and I don't think there's much left from Ellen Burstyn for whoever's left on our list. So be prepared for next week, everybody, as we will get to that. So
yeah, I gotta get it. I gotta come up with some repulsive offs soon.
We just want one off. Like, most of those people are still pretty repulsive.
Yeah, it would be a shame to take any of them off because they're so repulsive. They all so deserve
They also
to be on the
deserve
list.
to be on the list.
They are so deserving.
And you know, there's some that are on the repulsive list and the doubted list.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a killer. Although one of the most non-repulsive people on the planet is on our doubted list.
Yeah. Who's that?
What's his face from, the Cyclops guy from X-Men?
Oh, James Marsden.
Yeah, James Marsden. The most adorable
He's
person
so
that's
adorable.
ever walked the
And he
face of
makes
the earth.
such bad movies.
He always picks to be in bad movies.
It's like, why aren't you in better movies, dude? It's
I
not
don't
like
know.
you can act.
Yeah, he can, and he's adorable. Here's a perfectly good comparison.
Yeah.
And maybe we need to come up with a new list. I don't know what that list is yet. But you think of Owen Wilson
Yeah.
and James Marsden.
Yeah.
They're kind of the same in the sense that, they're both adorable. And you just fall in love with their quirky presence and then Owen Wilson just keeps picking amazing films and
James Marsden does not.
yeah. Well, that's probably because James Marsden hasn't been hired to play in any Wes Anderson films yet.
Yes.
So if that ever happens, he'll get off the list pretty quick.
There you go.
Last week on Casey and the Ragettes. Casey or Dare. My apologies. Last week on Rage or Dare, it seems the boys were hiding from the rage when they pulled from the listener bag of meh and received the great Canadian icon Tom Green's opus, Freddy Got Fingered. This week, it is up to Bryce to choose to rage or dare. Now let's check in with the crew and see if Daddy, as well as Bryce and Jim, did in fact like some sausage. I sure hope there was a vegan-friendly option, otherwise I fear Bryce may not have embraced said sausage the same way that Jim may have. Sure is a lot of sausage in this episode. Let's find out how the sausage party turned out.
Yes. Let's. Jim, you're so easily amused.
I do like to talk about sausage.
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausage? All right, so Freddy Got Fingered is a different sort of film. If you want to see Tom Green jack off a horse or do the same to an elephant, spraying the semen into Rip Torn's face, or see Green slice open some roadkill and climb inside, or see him deliver a baby and bring it to life by swinging it over his head by its umbilical cord. I'm having trouble. Or have you been waiting for there to be a character in a film that is obsessed with rocket-powered wheelchairs and oral sex? Then this is the film for you. It is that simple. If this does not appeal to you, then I suggest not seeing this, as everything described is in this movie.
Plus a lot more.
While none of that appeals to me, I still was intrigued by the insanity that was before me. The movie is not good, and a lot of the humor has not aged well, but it was hard to look away from, and I was never bored. I would like to make it clear that I'm in no way recommending this to anyone. And while I'm not sure what this says about me, but Freddy Got Fingered was meh.
Okay.
I laughed, and the first 10 minutes are actually good.
Yes.
It wanes in the middle big time, but there's still every now and then I'm like, and at no point was I bored. And yeah, there is a lot of nonsense going on, but at the end of the day, the movie breezed by for me. It came, it went. I was mildly amused at points.
It came a few times and then went a few times.
It just had the most ridiculous ending ever. It was meh, and I'd like to make it clear, I'm not recommending it to anybody. But
well, let me tell you what I thought of it. I want to be a farmer, Daddy. I want to be a farmer, Daddy. As he grabs a hold of a giant horsecock at a stud farm, and he drives passed it a second time to do it again.
Yes.
This comes from a person that could not last 10 minutes in a cheese sandwich making factory, which I
Yes.
didn't even know was a place.
Yeah.
And from here, it is a story that makes absolutely no sense at any point because Tom Green is a complete idiot. But that is what makes this outlandishly Canadian-style idiocy and the humor that made Tom Green the biggest and most famous idiot in Canadian history. When he disembowels a dead deer and climbs inside the body and rolls around because he has to get inside the animal, get inside, then stops back at the horse stud farm for a second time to jerk off the horse. And then sits and watches the horses mounting each other for a little while, which we got the benefit of seeing as well. Then he goes home because he quits his job at the said cheese factory. Cheese sandwich factory.
Yes.
And moves back in with his parents. We then realize his best friend, the hilarious Harlan Williams, and his dad, Rip Torn, who is also completely mental. And between everything that's happening is one completely stupid Tom Green skit, followed by another completely stupid Tom Green skit, followed by another and another and another and another.
Yes.
Basically, it is like the TV show Tom Green was in, where he tortured his real parents for years. But this time, it's in a movie, where the skits that are contained have spattered awesome music, followed by one gross and disgusting scene of unspeakable crazy insanity of a motherfucking stupidity to the absolute maximum capacity of any believable probability that could ever happen in any movie, anywhere, at any time. It is hard to explain how insane and completely neurotic the humor was, and I loved every single scene. Apparently, this movie was made just for me. It is the first Rage or Dare film that I have seen that gets a Mondo.
Wow, Mondo.
Yeah. Tom Green, you are my hero. Unfortunately, maybe that Bryce has already alluded to, this is probably the most politically incorrect film that has ever been made.
It is indeed.
So I'm guessing that now I am going to be classified as evil.
Yeah.
But then again, what's new about that?
Yeah.
Daddy, I would, yes, indeed, like some sausage. And I just want to sing this out to Tom Green. Oh, Canada, our home and native land. You are a fucking idiot. And I love the fact that you just do whatever the hell you feel. And I swear he must have made this just ad-libbing a significant amount of it. Like, he's
This is what contributed me doing my open rage. After watching this, it's like, well, we can't get a movie like this anymore. It just wouldn't be made.
No, this, and interesting. I know you're going to completely disagree with me. 100% disagree with me.
Right.
But this is why I love that. Crap. What's the one that Mark Strong and what's his name?
Oh,
the brothers.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen. This is the reasons why I like Sacha Baron Cohen too. He is not afraid to just go out on a limb.
No,
I'm
okay with that. But the brothers
Grimm, it was so good.
It's not
It's
good.
same kind of humor, except not as much of it, and not as raw at times. But there's rawness in that too. If you're gonna make me laugh, I'm not gonna chuckle at stuff that's just like, haha, that was funny. I'm gonna see shit that's like, I cannot believe what I've just seen on screen. That is funny, because the fact that you just did that makes me laugh. This is totally offensive. And I'm going to say, anybody that hasn't seen this movie, if you just go and look at IMDb and it's completely offensive in every single way
It is
that you
indeed.
can imagine. But if you want to laugh at a guy being a complete idiot I look at it like Jackass, but it's like Tom Green's Jackass.
It is.
He's just a complete idiot.
Yep.
Nope. This is a Mondo.
Fair enough. I'm not going to argue with you. As I say, I don't know. As I say, don't know what it says about me, but I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah. Well, if you take the Mondo and the man, you divide it by 2 and make an average, it came out as a meh. So apparently our listeners' bag of meh is
it's
holding up.
intact.
Yeah. So you get to, you don't have to Casey because you Casey'd last, but you get to rage or dare. Where are you going?
Are you sure this is my turn?
It's always, when I tell you.
I know it's always my turn.
When I tell you it's your turn, just nut up and fucking do your job.
Okay, sorry. What are my choices?
Got rage or
Rage or dare.
dare? I've only got 3 things left in my bag.
So there's
sure
3
as hell-
things in your bag, or it's the audience bag.
Audience bag of meh.
Audience bag of Matt or
Which
yours.
there's a few things in there.
And you've only got 3 left in yours?
Yeah, kind of excited to know what they are. Why don't you take one of those?
You know
Think
what?
you can handle it?
Yeah, I'll take one of yours. I don't care.
All right.
You don't scare me.
Well, you say that now.
All right, here we go. I have one in my hand. I can see that is from 2002.
Ooh.
And it is called For the Money. Don't know what that is.
For the money? Is it for the money, honey?
No, it's just For the Money.
For?
Sounds like something Charlie Sheen would be in.
It does kind of sound like that, but I mean,
It's a Charlie Sheen movie.
yeah, I don't know.
For the Money.
Spelt with a 4 or?
No, For the Money. FOR. 2002. You put it in the bag. How do you not know what it is? For the Money.
Sure, there's nothing.
It's called For the Money.
Oh.
And it's from 2002.
I think it's missing the top part of this. It got cut off. There's a word in there that's. Nope, that's not it either.
Do I have to pull again because this movie doesn't exist?
It's quite possibly that the movie For the Money, because the one I'm looking on IMDb right now, I've got 2 For the Money, but that wasn't from 2002. So.
Well, the cheese has become more binding.
Yes, it has. I guess you got to pick a new one. I don't know what the hell that was. I'm positive it would have been 2 For the Money, because that one I know is going to be completely awful, but come on, pick again. Now I'm down to 1 movie left.
For the Love of Money came out in 2002. Was it that?
Maybe that was the one.
And there's also 2. No, that was 2005. And there's One For the Money came out in 2002. Those are your 2 options. For the Love of Money?
Nah, I don't.
Right.
I think you'd.
So you have no idea what you even put in your bag.
Choosing this
again.
bag is now 3 years old. So.
All right, fine. I will take another one out of here.
Now watch. This one's going to be completely. You have 1 left now.
Oh, good. I think it's a J-Lo.
Oh, you love J-Lo in movies. Is it Anaconda?
No. I wish it was Anaconda.
I just watched that last night.
Is this a J-Lo movie? Monster-in-Law?
Oh, God. No.
It's not? What is it? Are you sure? I thought she was in it's like Jane Fonda and Jennifer Lopez, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Am I actually right? Is it Jane Fonda and Jennifer? I'm awesome.
You are pretty awesome. Yeah, Monster-in-Law, you're right. With J-Lo, and one of your favorite actors of all time, Wanda Sykes, is in this. This could be a Mondo for you.
I love Wanda Sykes.
Yeah.
She's mesmerized for life, isn't
she is. Yeah. Except, have you seen this movie?
I think I did.
Yeah.
Maybe. Cause
yeah.
I
Good luck.
In 2005, I pretty much was working 2 days a week, so all I did was go to movies.
Yeah.
Go to movies, play the horses, watch football. That was my life.
I just want to say good luck, because I remember when I saw this.
Yeah.
I wanted to actually murder myself after seeing it.
Oh, well, I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, I am too. Now.
All right. Well,
but
Monster-in-Law. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. J-Lo and Jane Fonda.
I'm sure it'll be just fine.
It's the best. Right. Well.
Oh, no, that's not what I want.
There's so much going on this week, and we need Murray to direct us. So we miss you, buddy. Come back. Thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to Extended Film Rage family you can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey from The Nerdy Photographer for the voice of Rage or Dare. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. We are always wanting to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, subscribe, and send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare to see terrible films to fuel our rage. But no matter what you do, please, 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 pretty please, please, we love you, Paul Rubens. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on!